Good morning slash afternoon slash evening, everyone. Let me ask you something. Have you ever missed out on a great opportunity, not because you weren't capable, but because you lacked confidence? You're not alone. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build, and the best part, you can boost your confidence fast, starting today. Now, I'm not here to sell you magic. I'm here to share real practical steps that you can take immediately to start showing up stronger, bolder, and more certain of yourself. So, how do we do it? 1. Change your posture, change your power. Confidence starts in the body. Stand tall, shoulders back, make eye contact. Even if you don't feel confident, acting like you are sends a powerful signal to your brain and to everyone around you. Fake it until you become it. 2. Eliminate negative self-talk, that inner critic. Shut it down. Start replacing "I can't do this" with "I can figure this out." Your words shape your reality. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you love. 3. Take small, bold actions fast. Confidence doesn't grow in your comfort zone. Make that call. Speak up in that meeting. Try that new thing. The faster you act, the less time fear has to talk you out of it. 4. Prepare like a pro. Want to feel unstoppable. Be overprepared. Confidence often comes from competence. When you know your stuff, you walk into any room with your head high. 5. Celebrate your wins, even the small ones. Every time you step out of your comfort zone, acknowledge it. Confidence grows when you recognize your progress, not just perfection. Let me leave you with this. Confidence isn't a talent, it's a habit. Build it one decision, one action, one brave moment at a time. So walk tall, speak boldly, and show the world what you're made of, because the truth is, you're more capable than you think, and the world is waiting for the confident version of you. Have you ever noticed how your body changes when you feel confident? You stand taller, you take up more space, and your movements are more deliberate. Now here's the powerful part. It also works the other way around. When you choose to move and hold yourself with confidence, even if you don't feel it yet, your brain starts to follow your body's lead. This is called embodied cognition. Your body influences your mind just as much as your mind influences your body. In other words, your posture can literally rewire how you feel. So what does power posture look like? Start by standing or sitting up straight. Uncross your arms. Pull your shoulders back and lift your chin slightly. Make solid eye contact when you speak. Plant your feet firmly and avoid fidgeting. These small shifts create a big psychological impact, not just on you, but on how others perceive you. People instinctively trust and listen to those who carry themselves with authority. Your body language sends a message before you even say a word. If you walk into a room with your head down, shoulders slouched, and eyes avoiding contact, you're signaling insecurity, even if you're completely qualified to be there. But when you carry yourself like someone who belongs, people begin to treat you that way. And more importantly, you start to believe it yourself. There's even research from Harvard showing that holding a power pose for just 2 minutes can increase testosterone, the confidence hormone, and decrease cortisol, the stress hormone. That means you can literally hack your brain chemistry to feel more in control, focused, and courageous, just by adjusting your stance. So the next time you're about to give a presentation, walk into an interview, or speak up in a meeting, take a moment. Stand tall, breathe deeply, own your space, because the moment you adjust your posture, you begin to shift your mindset. And that's how fast confidence can start, right from your body. One of the most powerful forces shaping your confidence isn't what others say to you, it's what you say to yourself. That inner voice running in the background of your mind, it's either building you up or tearing you down, moment by moment, thought by thought. Self-talk is the ongoing dialogue you have internally. It can sound like "I'm not good enough," "I always mess things up," or even "what if I fail?" These thoughts may feel automatic, but they're not facts, they're patterns. And the good news is, patterns can be changed. Confidence doesn't come from perfection. It comes from how you respond when things feel uncertain. The most confident people in the world still experience fear and doubt, but they know how to manage their mindset. They speak to themselves like a coach, not a critic. Start by becoming aware of your self-talk. Catch yourself when negative thoughts creep in. You might hear that voice say, "You'll embarrass yourself," or "No one will listen to you." Pause. Ask yourself, is this true or is this fear talking? Usually it's the latter. Then intentionally reframe that thought. Replace "I can't do this" with "I'll do my best and learn as I go." Switch "I'm not ready" to "I've prepared as much as I can. I've got this." These aren't just fluffy affirmations. They're mental tools that redirect your brain toward confidence, focus, and growth. Also, speak your positive thoughts out loud when you can. Words have power, and when you hear yourself affirm your strengths, "I'm capable," "I've overcome worse," "I bring value," you reinforce them internally. You don't need to lie to yourself. You just need to remind yourself of the truth you often forget in moments of doubt. Over time, this kind of mental discipline rewires your brain. Just like physical muscles grow with repetition, your confidence muscle strengthens every time you silence the inner critic and choose empowering language instead. Ultimately, how you talk to yourself sets the ceiling for what you believe is possible. And once you learn to control that voice, you're no longer at the mercy of your doubts. You're in command of your confidence. One of the fastest and most effective ways to boost your confidence is to do the thing you're afraid of before your brain has time to talk you out of it. Confidence doesn't come from thinking about action. It comes from taking action, especially when it feels uncomfortable. Let's be honest, fear loves to stall. The longer you wait to act on something important, whether it's raising your hand, speaking in public, applying for a job, or starting a conversation, the more your mind fills with doubt, what ifs, and worst case scenarios. Your brain is trying to protect you from failure, but in doing so, it also blocks growth. Taking immediate action disrupts that pattern. Think of it like jumping into cold water. If you hesitate, your mind will build up the discomfort. But if you just leap, the shock is over in seconds, and you realize it wasn't as bad as you imagined. Confidence works the same way. The quicker you move toward what scares you, the faster you shrink fear and prove to yourself that you can handle more than you think. Start small, but start now. It could be something simple. Introduce yourself to someone new. Volunteer to speak up in a meeting. Try something you've never done before. Every time you take a bold step, even a small one, you build evidence in your mind that says, "I can handle discomfort. I can take risks. I don't freeze. I move." Momentum is everything. When you act fast, you generate a positive feedback loop. Action evidence confidence more action, and with every loop, your comfort zone expands. What once felt terrifying becomes normal. That's not because the task got easier, it's because you got stronger. Also, remember that confidence doesn't require perfection. In fact, the willingness to act without having everything figured out is exactly what creates confidence. You don't wait to be fearless. You act while you're still a little afraid. That's what builds courage. That's what builds trust in yourself. So next time you hesitate, whether it's about speaking up, trying something new, or chasing an opportunity, don't overthink it. Take that first step fast, even if it's shaky, even if it's imperfect. That first action is the gateway to confidence, and once you start moving, everything begins to change. One of the most underrated but powerful ways to boost your confidence fast and sustainably is through preparation. While mindset, posture, and action all play critical roles in confidence, preparation is the foundation that turns nervous energy into focused strength. Let's face it, nothing creates self-doubt faster than feeling unready. When you walk into a situation unsure of your knowledge, skills, or next steps, anxiety takes the lead. You start second, guessing yourself, overthinking every move, and mentally shrinking before the challenge has even begun. But when you're prepared, truly prepared, you walk in with a completely different presence. You stand taller, speak clearer, and think more effectively because you're grounded in what you know. You're not just hoping it goes well, you've already equipped yourself to succeed. Preparation isn't just about cramming information or rehearsing lines, it's about building familiarity and resilience. For example, if you're preparing for a presentation, don't just read your slides. Practice saying them out loud multiple times. Record yourself, watch the playback, refine your tone, body language, and pacing. The more you rehearse, the more natural it becomes, and the less your nerves can throw you off track. If you're stepping into a job interview or an important conversation, anticipate the questions, research, write down your talking points, practice with a friend. Confidence grows when you know you've put in the work. Even in social situations or spontaneous challenges, preparation can make a huge difference. You can mentally rehearse common scenarios, how to introduce yourself, how to answer tough questions, how to stay calm under pressure. Athletes do this all the time. Visualization, seeing themselves perform successfully before the moment even arrives. You can use the same technique to train your mind for confidence. Preparation also builds trust, not just in the material, but in yourself. You start to realize, I may not know everything, but I've done everything I could be ready. That trust is gold. It allows you to stay composed even when things go off script because you know you've laid the groundwork. And here's the added benefit. The more you prepare in advance, the more freedom you have in the moment. That freedom leads to flow. You're not stuck in your head trying to remember what comes next. You're present, adaptable, and able to connect with others naturally. So whether it's a conversation, a pitch, a performance, or a decision, preparation is your silent advantage. It's the confidence you build behind the scenes that shows up loud, clear when it counts. One of the most overlooked tools for building confidence is the simple but powerful act of recognizing your own progress. In a world that constantly pushes us to chase the next goal, compare ourselves to others, or strive for perfection, it's easy to ignore how far we've already come. But here's the truth. If you don't acknowledge your wins, especially the small ones, your brain won't register growth. And without that recognition, confidence has no fuel. Celebrating progress doesn't mean bragging. It means validating your own effort, your courage, and your improvement. Confidence is built through repetition, but it's reinforced through recognition. Every time you take a small step forward, your brain creates a new link. I did something difficult. I succeeded. I can do it again. That is the foundation of sustainable internal confidence. Most people wait until they've reached the big finish line before they give themselves credit. But if you only celebrate the outcome, you miss the dozens or hundreds of small victories along the way that are just as important. Confidence isn't something that just shows up at the end of the race. It's something you build with each step forward. Did you speak up when you were nervous? Celebrate that. Did you take action even though you were uncertain? That's a win. Did you practice a skill, ask a question, or even just show up for yourself today? That matters. Write these things down. Keep a journal of your daily wins. They don't need to be huge, just honest. Over time, these entries become undeniable proof that you are growing. On tough days, you can look back and see your own resilience in black and white. You'll realize that progress was happening all along, even when you couldn't feel it in the moment. Celebration also rewires your brain to associate effort with reward. The more you acknowledge your growth, the more motivated and energized you become to keep going. It becomes a loop. Action, progress, celebration, motivation, more action. And don't be afraid to share your wins with supportive people. Confidence grows faster in community. When others cheer you on, you begin to believe even more in your own potential. But even when no one else is around, it's enough to pause and tell yourself, that was brave, that was progress. I'm proud of myself. The more you celebrate your growth, even if it's messy, slow, or imperfect, the more you train your mind to look for what's right instead of what's lacking. And that shift in focus is a major key to long-term, authentic confidence. So if you truly want to boost your confidence fast, remember this. It's not about being fearless, flawless, or perfect. It's about being willing to adjust your posture and carry yourself like you belong, willing to challenge yourself, talk and speak to yourself with respect, willing to take action even when your hands shake, willing to prepare like you mean it, and most importantly, willing to recognize your progress even when it feels small. Confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you create day by day, decision by decision. So start where you are, use what you have, and take that next bold step. Because you don't need to feel ready to act confident. You just need to act confident to become ready.